It's been a busy weekend for our Socceroos abroad. In today's video, we're going to talk about all the top performances from some of the Aussie players playing overseas and talk about just the overall performances from this current Socceroos squad as well. See how they're tracking, of course, the World Cup next year. It's important that these players are putting in strong and consistent performances. And first of all, we have to talk about this guy, Cammy Devlin at Hearts, who is maybe one of the most in-form players right now that Australia has. Of course, he was called up to the most recent Socceroos squad, didn't feature in those two games for Australia recently, but he earned a 7.9 FOTMOB rating as Hearts defeated Celtic. They've got an 8-point lead at the top of the Scottish Premiership there, Hearts. It's a phenomenal story that's developing there in Scotland, and Cammy Devlin has been key to the success there for Hearts. He's playing regularly in midfield, and if you look at his ratings online, I mean, he's putting in fantastic performances week after week, so surely it's a matter of time before Devlin really pushes into the Socceroos, starting 11 here. It feels like with just with the form that he has as well. Heading over to Italy, Alessandro Ceccardi with a good performance. He helped Parma to a scoreless draw, and great to see him again featuring regularly for Parma over there in Serie A. A good league for Ceccardi to be playing in. Lewis Miller put in a really strong performance, an 8.8 rating on FOTMOB. Also provided an assist in Blackburn's 2-1 win over the weekend. Lewis Miller as well, by the looks of things, he appears to be playing as a centre-back as well, right-sided centre-back in a back three. So, as we know for the Socceroos, we are used to seeing Miller play as that right-wing back. But it's nice to see him developing his game, continuing to evolve, and, he adds another dimension there for Tony Popovic. Can slot in a back three if needed, I reckon, Lewis Miller. So great that he's bringing that versatility to his game now as well. Sticking with our players in England, we should talk about Alex Robertson. This is a big story from the weekend. He finally got a game. Great to see. Obviously, it was a big surprise to see Robertson included in the most recent Socceroos squad. He's a top player, but simply because he hadn't featured so far this season. But he came straight into the starting lineup for Cardiff City. According to the stats online, 94% pass accuracy for Alex Robertson as he started his first game of the season. So hopefully it's the first of many minutes this season for Robertson. Also in England, Hayden Matthews made his first league start of the season. He started a cup game earlier on in the campaign, but this is his first league start. He's been on the bench. He's been on the bench basically every week, but it's great to see him finally get a chance here from the start. We know we've got a really exciting contingent of Aussie players there at Portsmouth. We know Segacic is going to be out with injury for a few weeks. Nothing too serious by the looks of things, but will miss the next few weeks or so. But Matthews, great to see him get a start. Hopefully he does earn more opportunities over the season as well. It was a good game from Paul Izzo, Socceroos goalkeeper for Randers. He made 3 saves and earned a 7.7 FOTMOB rating in a scoreless draw for Randers. Also for Randers there, Mo Toure started up top, and Musa Toure, his brother, came off the bench in that game as well. Nick D'Agostino, was on the score sheet for Viking over the weekend as well. D'Agostino was called up to the most recent Socceroos squad. Again, maybe a bit of a surprise call. We know he's a top player. When he's in form, when he's injury-free, he is a good striker, Nick D'Agostino. But called into that Socceroos squad, got the start as well against USA. Great to see him get on the score sheet here in a 5-1 win for Viking over the weekend. Gianni Stensness also featured in that game off the bench at halftime. Another striker in form, or a couple of strikers in form that we should talk about from here on as well. Apostolos Stamatolopoulos on the score sheet. He scored his 4th goal of the season for Motherwell, scoring from the penalty spot, where Zach Sapsford got his 5th goal in all competitions this season for Dundee United. This is a guy who has been really excited sort of watching Sapsford's journey and his development through the A-League. And last season, he had a real breakout year in the A-League where he got regular starting minutes and scored a handful of goals for Western Sydney Wanderers. That helped him earn this move over to Scotland. And it's great to see him continuing this form. He's really stepped up to the level there in Scotland. And he's got his 5th goal in all competitions. This is a guy who I'm sure could be on the Socceroos radar soon enough. So keep an eye on Zach Sapsford this season. And another striker I did want to highlight as well, Jamie McLaren. Hasn't featured with the Socceroos for some time now, but he did grab a brace on the weekend for Mohun Bagan Supergiant in India. So great to see him continuing to grab the goals there. Jamie McLaren, the A-League's all-time greatest goal scorer. Elsewhere, we'll talk about some of the other Socceroos performances as well. Matty Ryan featured for Levante. He's been starting regularly for them, made 4 saves in a 1-1 draw for Levante. Cameron Burgess grabbed a 7.7 FOTMOB rating in Swansea's 2-1 win over the weekend. Jody Boss, he played 72 minutes in Feyenoord's 3-2 loss. Milos Degenek played 61 minutes for TSC Baka Topola in a 2-1 loss for his club there. Jason Guerrier over in Japan played in a 2-2 draw. He played the full match there. So did Jacob Italiano over in Austria. He played the full match in a 1-0 loss for his club. Aidan O'Neill, we know one of Australia's top midfielders in recent times. He is set to feature this coming week in the MLS playoffs as New York City take on Charlotte FC. Of course, the MLS playoffs, entering playoff season now. We've got a few Aussies over there. Unfortunately, Kyle Rolls, his DC United struggle this season, so he isn't involved in competitive action for his club over the coming months, which is maybe a bit of a concern for Kyle Rolls in regards to, competing for a spot in the Socceroos squad. Obviously, you need to be playing regularly if you're going to be in that Socceroos squad. But Max Ballard as well, we should mention him, played 82 minutes in a 3-3 draw for NAC Breda. Patrick Yazbek, going back to the MLS as well, we should mention Yazbek. He played 69 minutes in Nashville's 2-1 loss in the MLS playoffs to Inter Miami. That second leg for Patrick Yazbek's Nashville is coming up this coming weekend as well. Connor Metcalf, he did play 29 minutes in St. Pauli's 2-0 loss in the Bundesliga. And we should highlight as well a first appearance of the season for Jackson Irvine. Another big story from the weekend as well, but he only played a few minutes at the very end of the game, but it is great to see him finally step onto a football pitch after recovering from injury. So we'll see, does Irvine jump straight back into the Socceroos squad for the November games? We'll keep an eye on that one. Nestor Irinkunda was a 64th minute substitute in Watford's 3-1 loss. Aiden Rustic played the full match for Heracles as they lost their game 3-0. Sammy Silvera was subbed on at halftime for Middlesbrough. Also at Middlesbrough there, we know Ron McGree at that club has been an unused sub 3 games in a row. It was great to see him finally being named in a matchday squad a couple of weeks back, but 3 games in a row now he's been on the bench, hasn't been utilised. So we are yet to see Riley McGree, seems to be fit, but yet to feature this season for Middlesbrough. And lastly, Mitch Duke. He made a second consecutive start here for Machida Zelvia in Japan, featuring in a scoreless draw. Their second consecutive start, which is a big deal because Mitch Duke often utilised as a striker off the bench for his club there in Japan. So great to see him get 2 consecutive starts here after featuring in the Asian Champions League Elite during the week as well, and then in the league here as well in Japan. And he will be taking on Melbourne City as well. His club will be taking on Melbourne City in the Asian Champions League Elite in a couple of weeks' time as well. So there's your recap of all the Aussies abroad, the Socceroos abroad, some of the top performances, and it's great to see some of our Aussies doing well around the planet. Who are you most excited about featuring, across these games here for the Socceroos, and who would you like to see push into the Socceroos squad? There's certainly the likes of, talking about Stamatolopoulos, Sapsford. These guys could maybe break into the Socceroos squad in the near future. We'll keep an eye on it. Thanks, guys, for tuning in, though. Really, really appreciate it. If you want to stay up to date to all the Socceroos content that we are doing here, the best way to do that is to subscribe. And like the video, too, to show your support, show that you liked it, and, again, drop your thoughts in the comments section. Appreciate you guys tuning in. See you in the next one.